technology-driven revolution, where the latest advances in computing power, data processing, distributed networks have fueled growth in innovative new payment services. This includes 24/7 instant payments, user-friendly digital wallets, mobile payment apps, and stablecoins and other digital assets. There have also been some who have been fearful or skeptical of innovation in this space. But we only have to look to history to see that the evolution of the payment system has long been a story of technological advancement. There's nothing to be afraid of when thinking about smart contracts, tokenization, or distributed ledgers in everyday transactions. The technology available today might be new, but leveraging innovative technology to build new payment services is not a new story. What I'd like to emphasize is that public sectors can both embrace innovation within their respective roles.
There we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Fed Governor Waller, who is, of course, in charge of payments at the Federal Reserve, talking about the embrace of this technology. We did look at what Caitlin Long's kind of shock was around in regards to his statement that we've just actually shown you the clip of. And we could just leave the update there. Ladies and gents, you guys know that every single day we bring one very clear message on top of covering all the things happening in the cryptocurrency space that we think is relevant and that you should know about, and the broader markets. And that is that this technology is on a very clear trajectory to fundamentally change the world and be used in day-to-day life. And in regards to where we are on that evolution, we are right at the start. There was some interesting news that the Federal Reserve are now ISO 20022 compliant. And this migration has been completed. And this new messaging standard that has been adopted by Swift, which is a messaging service, they don't actually deal with the transacting of value. They deal with the kind of messages, the relay that takes place to enable that transacting of value, which DLTs are helping with. And they're going live with Chainlink's pilot to bridge Swift and its 11,000 institutions into the cryptocurrency space in November. But this messaging service actually allows for the integration or the messages to be used on distributed ledgers, and have shown examples of how that takes place. So from a private sector, public sector, whatever it may be, the world is embracing this technology, and we have the Fed there talking about the need for the private sector's involvement and the Fed to essentially help to usher in this new kind of innovation. Sticking on the topic of governing agencies, today the SEC's Project Crypto and the CFTC's Crypto Sprint are coordinating to answer President Donald Trump's call to action for American leadership. We're going to win on crypto. This was their release. It came out yesterday. Acting Chair Pham announces next Crypto Sprint initiative. Commodities Future Trading Commission Acting Chair Caroline D. Pham announced today the CFTC will begin its next Crypto Sprint initiative for implementation of the recommendations in the President's Working Group on the Digital Asset Market Report. Starting today, Acting Chairman will begin stakeholder engagement on all other report recommendations for the CFTC. She announced the CFTC's Crypto Sprint earlier this month. You can find the reporting via that link. She goes on to say the administration has made it clear that enabling immediate trading of digital assets at the federal level is a top priority. I am pleased with the many thoughtful letters from stakeholders in support of the CFTC's listed spot crypto trading initiatives, which in coordination with the SEC's Project Crypto answers President Trump's call to action for American leadership. The public feedback will assist the CFTC in carefully considering relevant issues for leverage, margin, or finance retail trading on the CFTC registered exchange as we implement the president's directive. The Trump administration has ushered in a new dawn for crypto, and it's up to the market participants to seize this opportunity to be a part of the golden age of innovation starting today. Very interesting. I am beginning stakeholder engagement on all other report recommendations for the CFTC, with the full support of President's Working Group on Digital Assets to operationalize President Trump's promise to win on crypto. The CFTC invites all interested stakeholders to submit feedback and suggestions on all recommendations on the CFTC in the President's Working Group on Digital Assets. So, clear steps are being taken. We do see further delays on broader spot ETFs. I don't think anybody was expecting them, quite frankly, this month. We're looking at sort of the back end of September, potentially October, I think, at this point. You know, there's still the Clarity Act and a number of other things that have to take place. We are just in the summer doldrums, unfortunately, guys. You know, people are still on holiday. They're enjoying themselves. You know, time can be your best friend or your worst enemy. Choose to use it. Understand that there's a bigger technical plan that's very clear in regards to continuation to the upside for the cryptocurrency space. And also understand, you know, the kind of fundamental changing that's happening with the world, signaled by everybody. We just looked at the federal governor who is in charge of payments at the Federal Reserve talking about this innovation. I mean, it just, when it walks, talks, and quacks like a duck, it's a duck, ladies and gentlemen. You know the score for Bitcoin. On the smaller time frames, this bull flag is looking to have sort of dwindled. You're now back well and truly in it. You know, this is not a good sign. We do have, you know, a bit of an I need a hero moment. The Fed chair giving his last Jackson Hole speech today. And that's going to be very interesting. You know, what is he going to signal? We did look at a take from, I think it was Wells Fargo on interest rate cuts yesterday. And if a 25 not coming this Friday, but on the next one is done, then that's going to greenlight markets to an easing cycle. We'll see. I think the jury's out on rate cuts. We'll talk about that in just a second and what the probabilities are. But yeah, the technical story for Bitcoin and crypto hasn't changed. The smaller time frames, it's just chopping and doing what is very prominent in August and likely going to happen in September. So if you can get through these, you're going to be A-okay. You know, we could ultimately be setting up just for continuation now on Ethereum. And I own a number of ETH treasury companies. You want to unlock those, and other treasury companies. You want to unlock those, do become a Patreon. Today's a significant day because we have Fed's Jackson Hole speech. And yeah, I think there's a wide variety of what people are expecting. I'm going to say this, and I've flown in the face of many people by saying this. I don't actually think the Fed Chair Jerome Powell's done such a bad job. If you give all the circumstances, if you compare him with other central bank leaders, and if you look at where the markets are at, they've kind of done well despite having one of the most aggressive sort of tightening cycles that we've ever seen, the fastest tightening cycle that we've seen as far as getting from interest rates from that zero band to 4.5. So he is speaking today at 3 p.m. UK time. Trump is also set to make an announcement on Friday at noon in the Oval Office. Wonder what that'll be. The probabilities right now, they were pretty confident you were going to get a 25 basis point rate cut. Now, not so much. There is absolutely a probability that they might not cut this year. If they do, I think markets appreciate that. And moving forwards, actually, you can see expectations in October for them to have done the 25. There's a slight, it's higher probability that they do a 50 by then instead of leave rates where they are. December, you know, we're starting to come down, and then I think moving forward, they're probably not going to have too much of an accurate forecast on, but they're looking at by sort of, let's do sort of September next year. The most probable rate cut a year from now, or where we're at, is actually with a whole 1.25 or 1.50 cut, which isn't quite that zero band, but we'll see. A lot can happen from now until then. There's always a lot going on. That's why these daily market updates are important. We try and cover everything that we possibly can that we think is relevant, that's taking place with not just the cryptocurrency markets, but more broader field. There's a move towards this industry clearly taking place, even being said by the likes of the President of the United States. I think it's part of a broader global plan to enable more of a kind of one world system. And whether that's a good or a bad thing is for you guys to decide. Hang in there. Get through these summer doldrums. You've got a bright time and bright future ahead of you. That's it from me, guys. I'm going to love and leave you. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you in the next one.